Welcome back to Foregone Trails. In this episode, I have this 1969 Jeepster Commando.
67.
Oh, shoot. Mine's a 69. All right. Money worm. Welcome back to Foregone Trails. In this episode, we're installing an LS motor in this 1967 Jeepster Commando for one of my subscribers. Let's get to it. So in episode 1, we mapped out the build plan. We set our sights on restoring this Jeepster. And this Jeepster has been a part of Arthur's family for decades. Seeing how much it means to him makes this project even more rewarding, and it's time to bring this puppy back to life. Let's get started on this motor swap. When it came to powering this Jeepster, Arthur felt like the Dauntless was a little bit underpowered for his needs, especially around here in the Dallas metro. So we have an L33 aluminum block Chevy V8 from an 05 to 07 pickup-ish. This thing is going to save a lot of weight, which is going to be great, but also put out plenty of power. I think somewhere in the 310 horsepower range, 350 foot-pounds of torque. So overall, this is going to be the perfect match for this Jeepster. Lucky for me, Arthur's been busy at work getting this thing all nice and cleaned up. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. That's nice and shiny.
Nothing to contaminate anything. These welds are going to stick like bubble gum, but hopefully better. And it was really nice because we were able to utilize my brother's Jeepster, who also has an LS swap in his, to get some measurements on where these motor mounts should hopefully land. If you guys haven't, check out the rigs I did for him. You can really get an in-depth idea of what we're really shooting for with his Jeep. It's going to be very similar to my brother's, but just a little bit more flair to it. So here we go. Let's get this thing thrown in. It's the next day. It's time to get this thing buttoned up so I can head back home. Yesterday, we got the motor completely mounted up. It went pretty smoothly. It did take a while because when you're doing something like this, we need to make sure everything's exactly where we want it to be. And with that, the motor mounts worked out really nicely. Tim from V8 Swap Shop actually set us up with this entire setup. These are Novak adjustable motor mounts, which really worked nice because we're able to get the main bracket set up, which I just used my brother's Jeepster as a reference for that. But then we had 1/2 inch increment adjustments up and down, and then it slides left to right to get it set where we wanted to exactly. And so that allowed us to go ahead and offset it just a hair to the passenger side, which made the transfer case clear the frame really nicely. And really, this is going to work out exactly the way we want it to. So without further ado, let me show you what these motor mounts look like up close, give you a little bit of that, and then we're going to move on to get this transmission mounted in the back. All right. When it came to the transmission Crossmember, I'm hoping I was able to save Art a little bit of money and bring one down with me that I'd previously used on another build that no longer fit my needs, so it's just been laying around. And I'm really hoping that we're going to be able to make this work, fabricate it up a little bit so that it'll just save us a lot of time, save Art a little money, and it'll work perfectly for this Jeepster. So let me show you what this Crossmember looks like, and I'm going to show you how it's going to go ahead and attach to the transmission.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
I know I was not in the Jeep with my dad when this happened, but holy hell, can you imagine? Bam! He hit something freaking hard.
ultimately, this crossmember worked out really nicely. It bolted right into where the stock crossmember went, has some bushings here, runs across, and then what I like to do is take a YJ bushing like this and go ahead and install it into the bracket, made a plate to mount to the transmission, and then that bolts to this crossmember. So overall, should isolate it nicely, support it well, and we got really lucky. The other thing, now that we've got this in place, you can see the shackle angle's looking really good. We got Art. So I think those are gonna work pretty nicely. That's probably right at about ride height. I like to keep my shackle angles like that, right at about 60 degrees at ride height. I think with the extra weight, it's gonna be perfect. We've got good clearances up here. Everything's looking good with the steering. So this mock-up is officially pretty nice. Well, guys, there you go. We got the motor installed, transmission installed. I think everything went pretty smoothly, right?
I agree.
Okay.
That's great.
So, hopefully you really enjoyed. This thing is installed. We're ready to go. It's the first step of many, and it's been a good process so far. Art, what do you think?
I couldn't have done this by myself. Thanks to Tim at VX Swap Shop. Thank you for all the parts and help. And my gosh, thanks a lot to Tyler for doing a lot of thinking.
That's been our theme all weekend. It's like, oh, if we do this, then this, and then this, right? I mean, so, but we got a running list of orders for you to do next. So the next time, I guess I'm down, this will have all the accessories on it, right? Everything will be buttoned up. And what are we going to do? I think we're going to do shocks and some other stuff the next time I'm down. So, guys, if you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, stick around, and till next time.
Money worm.